Namaste and welcome to the second season of Future Fit Corporates. My name is Bhavana Issar and I'm the founder CEO of Caregiver Saathi. In this season, we are going global and shifting the narrative. Caregiving is not a career obstacle or something that organizations must accommodate. It's a leadership accelerator. And through candid conversations with corporate leaders, consultants, and change makers, we explore how caregiving shapes resilience, empathy, and innovation. Let's discover what it truly takes to build workplaces that don't just include caregivers, but recognize that caregiving experience is an asset. Because the future of work is not just tech, female, or inclusive, it's compassionate, it's innovative, and therefore caregiver friendly. Welcome to Future Fit Corporates. Greetings of the day from whichever part of the world you're joining, whichever time of the day it is in your part of the world. It is my absolute delight today to have another conversation on our Future Fit Corporate series and bring to you another way of looking at not just what makes future fit corporates, but what integrates people in a whole new way in the modern world. Future Fit Corporates so far has been a conversation about what it means to invest in people and nurture success. Thus far, we have seen that organizations that are resilient and forward-looking would invest in understanding the changing needs of their employees. Future Fit Corporates is our initiative aimed at fostering caregiver-friendly workplaces and envisioning a future-ready corporate culture. We believe that a future-ready corporate culture would be one in which we shape caregiver-friendly workplaces. We have spaces for both men and women who have caregiving responsibilities to be able to balance their dreams, ambitions, and responsibilities. This also means that we innovate and ensure people performance delivers sustainable success and employee well-being. Today, I have with me Sonal Mehta, who is a Senior Vice President at Resurgent India. Sonal is currently associated with a Category 1 merchant banker as a Senior Vice President. She has well-honed skills in strategic advisory services, mergers and acquisitions, and corporate finance. With a proven track record of increasing revenue through market knowledge, keen analytical ability, and strong relationship with colleagues, she's proficient in liaisoning with banks and BFCs to fund financial requirements of their clients. She has relevant exposure in studying, analyzing, and reporting trends and opportunities for expansion and projection of the company's future growth. With a very strong financial and business acumen, Sonal, I have to take some master classes with you on some of these topics later and a thorough grasp on various accounting standards, financial systems, auditing procedures, corporate and taxation laws. Sonal is proficient in statutory enactments and needless to say, as a strong team leader, has been fostering an atmosphere that encourages highly talented personnel to balance high-level skills and maximum productivity. So you know why Sonal is the best person to have this conversation today. She's an out-of-box thinker with a highly analytical mind and thus able to comprehend and explain complex financial data easily. It's my honor and privilege and delight to have this conversation with you, Sonal. Welcome. And
Thank you so much, Bhavna, for a brief introduction. And it's my pleasure to be on this podcast with you. And we will definitely look forward to having a detailed discussion. And I think, you're doing a brilliant job because that's a very, very sensitive issue, which overall, gender specific, which you need to discuss the role of a caregiver even if you are a working parent, how you need to take care of your family. So, be it kids or be it elderly. So, that's a very, very crucial thing which any employee or employer has to take care of.
Thank you, Sonal. What would you tell our audience about yourself beyond your fantastic resume? And how do you relate with the idea of supporting caregivers?
Okay, so just to give a little background about, so I have been coming in from a diverse background. So I've been brought up in different locations. So a part of me, I've done a part of my schooling from South and something from the Western side. And then, finally, when I came back to Delhi, so I've been brought up in a multiple culture, and that's why I accommodate to situations better. I understand people better. So that's one benefit that I have when I'm talking about my personality. So I'm coming in from a multi-diversified personality. And as far as my career is concerned, so I have been a corporate banker for last almost 20 odd years, where I generally love working with the promoters on their growth journey. So when you're sitting across a table along with the promoter and understanding his numbers, his balance sheet, his growth plans. So the funniest thing about the whole journey has been, see, today it's like I'm at a certain age, people take seriously about whatever I'm talking about. But almost 17, 18 years back, when I started my career as a corporate banker, where I was just probably around 22, 23 at that point of time. And imagine sitting with a 45, 50 years old promoter and understanding from him, that what are your growth plans? What do you want to do? What is the strategy that you're talking about? So at that point of time, and I'm talking about times when women in finance was not very common. So, people used to have one eyebrows raised, that one, she is just 23, 24, and she wants to understand how we can grow our business and give her thoughts on those bases. So the first question used to be most of the time was, do you understand finance? Do you understand balance sheet? So because at those days, today we are blessed, that we have so many women CEOs who are there, and they've been managing businesses. Our finance minister is a woman today, so that's why the things and the scenarios have changed. But I'm talking about 18, 20 years back when there used to be hardly any women, one working and two in the financial domain. So I've been coming in with that kind of a legacy where, probably where I had to create my space among the promoters to make them understand that I understand numbers and I can help you grow on that basis. And coming back on your second question, on the caregiving side, I think irrespective of the gender that you talk about, it is very crucial for any working professional
Yes.
to be a good caregiver also. Because, ultimately, when you are spending almost 10 hours, 12 hours at your workplace, the
Yeah.
basic there is to give the best to your families. I'm sure, everybody comes with the same perspective, that today, if I have to earn X amount of money, is that because I need to have a secured future for my kids, or I need to support my parents. That's a basic agenda anybody has. So if you're not able to take care of, if you're just earning and spending time at office and not being able to give enough of time to the people who actually need it at home, I don't think we are able to do that justice. And with women in general, when you're talking about, women are a little more sensitive when it comes to families or when it comes to taking responsibilities at home, because ultimately when we walk out of the house, we have to give a checklist, that the things are taken care before we move out of the house. So that's a part of the caregiving movie that we talk about. So I personally believe that, intentionally or unintentionally, all of us are caregivers where, probably we think it as our moral responsibility to take care of our home first before we walk out of the house. So it's like, it's been 20 odd years that I've been working. But even today, if I'm walking out of the house in the morning, I have to make sure that the things at home are sorted out before I move out of. So I think that's what is the role of a caregiver any woman or any male has to take care of.
Thank you for saying that. And Sonal, as we move forward, you mentioned something that increasingly this is going to become a very important issue for almost everyone because we are all caregivers. And what is it that, every employee in an organization is going to be impacted by caregiving one way or the other? As you look at your career and experience, can you think of any incidents or moments in which you would have seen a colleague either have a very good response or a very challenging response to to a caregiving responsibility at home? What has been your observation? How do employees typically behave when they have caregiving responsibilities?
So, Bhavna, I think COVID has been a learning for all of us. So it's like, if somebody, personally speaking about me, if somebody would have come back and asked me before COVID for a work from home kind of a option, that probably there are situations sometimes where you're not able to come to office and you're looking at a work from home kind of a situation. There could be a family emergency, there could be a medical emergency where you think that that probably instead of taking a leave because I'm not able to go to office, but if I can manage this work from home, so is that an option which is available? So before COVID, if somebody would have come back and asked me, my answer would have been no. Reason behind, we would have never thought about on those basis कि probably हम लोग घर पे रह के भी कुछ productively काम कर सकते हैं. But
Right.
COVID has been a very good example for all of us. Where personally speaking about me as well, yeah, मतलब first COVID, I remember 2 months, literally 2 months, I have spent at home on a couch, managing bank calls, managing client calls, managing boom. It's like, at some point of time, the cook is standing on your head asking the menu for today evening, and you are in a client call and you have to, think about it, okay, where to handle situation there. But I think, initially it was difficult. Initial week, 10 days, it was difficult to manage situations. But once we, got used to it, so it was just proper planning. So things were managed well, and trust me, even the productivity was taken care pretty well. So I
Right.
don't think we have missed anything important, not by coming to office or from working from home. So the way it has helped is, that it has changed the mind frame not
Yeah.
only for me, for any manager that we talk about today, it
Hmm.
has changed the mind frame. So today, if anybody comes back and asks me, that obviously, matlab, as individuals, we have our own personal responsibilities. Sometimes the child is not well. Sometimes your in-laws, our parents are not well, and you feel you're not able to go back to office today and sometimes this stretches on for a longer time. मतलब कई बार वो 15 दिन 20 दिन भी हो जाता है. You, if you know that probably this person is genuine enough and will be able to deliver, I think work from home is a very good option today, which people can manage, provided it's like it's planned well. If you know that that this person can manage things from home, so I think it's a very good option which you can give it to the employees today, which will help one retaining your employees because that kind of trust develops between you and the people that you're working with, that that probably in case of crisis the manager is available or the management is available to support. So
Yes.
that gives you a lot of trust between you and the employees. The retention rates improve
Yeah. No,
because
for sure. For sure.
Absolutely, because today, if you don't give them that option, there are a lot of other companies who are happy to give employees work from home, and the employee feels कि ठीक है काम ही तो करना है. अगर ऑफिस में नहीं रह के दूसरी जगह अगर मुझे वर्क फ्रॉम होम की ऑप्शन मिल रही है, why not go in there?
That's right.
So the loss here is most of the time of the manager or the organization that they are losing a good employee for the policies which cannot be changed. So I think we need to have a very flexible approach to things. Sometimes it is the need of the hour that the person is not able to come to office or not able to manage work. You have to give them. I don't say you don't need to monitor. You obviously need to monitor everything. I would say rather than sticking to a 9 to 5 kind of a scenario, जहाँ पे वो 9 बजे आ रहा है और 6-5 बजे checkout कर रहा है, rather than sticking to that, give him a task and tell him to deliver that. Both the things will be sorted out. The employee will be happy कि ठीक है जी, I am not bound by the 9 to 5 kind of a job. I've been given a task and it is my responsibility to complete that task. And you as a manager and an organization are happy with it. Reason behind, irrespective of that person being there or not, at least the work is getting done.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if he is in a situation where he cannot come to office and you don't want to give him work from home, you will have to give him a leave. तो उस चक्कर में आपका काम भी नहीं होगा. So you
That's
are
true.
losing that man hours. So I think today the organization has to think about more from flexibility point of view that in case we can give an option or try another alternative to the situation or the crisis which is there, which will help the employee also and the organization also to find an amicable solution.
Absolutely. So well said. I think sometimes it's really important also because sometimes you may have very critical talent who has a
Absolutely.
specific, compulsion. And then how do you hold on to that talent? How do you have your competitive edge? Or how do you make sure that that talent stays loyal to you over a longer run? It's so important to be there for employees. Um, I understand your organization, Resurgent, has a lot of well-being initiatives. Tell us some of the existing programs or your understanding of what is employee well-being and how do you support it at your organization?
Okay, so primarily we are a very, very sport-centric organization, which we believe on, and we generally make a lot of effort to give employees their best, which we talk about. So we have couple of initiatives which we do to promote fitness, to promote employee bondings. One of a very interesting one that we do is Resurgent Premier League. So, people are generally very excited about it, where the way we plan is, that in the beginning of the year, for example, in April, we plan it for the complete year where, every month we play a different sport. So sometimes it's the basketball, sometimes it's cricket, sometimes it's football. So that we plan the whole year where, every alternate Saturdays we play a different sport. And the best thing is, we play it very religiously where we have the teams which are divided. So
Nice.
it's like we have teams which are divided. So there's a competition between the team which
Right.
happens. So
Right.
people who generally are little cranky about going to office on Saturdays and stuff are now very happy to come to office for the simple reason being, ठीक है second half में तो खेलने जाना है. So that motivation factor is very strong. ठीक है first half में we can wind up our stuff and second half में we will go and play. Because
Right.
anyway, Saturday people are generally in a holiday mood.
Right.
So second half they're generally lingering around here or there. तो वो productivity वैसे भी second half में ज्यादा होती नहीं है. So we said,
Right.
as well utilize that time to keep people more engaged.
What
So
is your
we have been doing.
experience? What is your experience? How does this change across genders or across age groups? Like there could be a stereotype that, oh, these games should be attractive mostly for men who are younger. But what is your experience?
So with us, Bhavna, the best thing about it, we have age across people who play. So there,
Right.
when I'm playing cricket, so we make a team that way. The team has been strategically made that way that there are girls also in the team. And
Right.
trust me, the girls are even more excited, playing
Yes.
cricket, doing batting, bowling, and these girls play really well, and they really feel
Yes.
proud about it. कि आज हमने cricket खेला.
Nice.
Similarly, imagine a Coco kind of a game where,
Right.
generally you require a lot of stamina and stuff.
Yeah.
So apart from the boys, we have the girls also a part of the team.
Very
So
nice.
the team we make up is a mixed team. So that way,
Nice.
the team is really looking forward, and it has really helped in increasing bonding between the team. Because
I
generally what
absolutely
happens
love it.
is,
Yeah, I absolutely love it because I think that, sports should be played by irrespective of age and irrespective of gender. And it is delightful. And I'm glad you have bust that stereotype and myth. Uh, do tell us about some of the other initiatives that you have.
absolutely. So we also have the gym memberships that we talk about. So we encourage employees. We have one with Cult, where we encourage employees to go to gym and practice fitness, because we give them a lot of corporate discounts and all there. So even this has been appreciated a lot.
Hmm.
And but the thing is, Bhavna, you know what? The hitch is when you start it, when the
Hmm.
HR first time comes back to you on starting certain initiative. So the
Hmm.
response is very, very slow. But
Hmm.
frankly speaking, coming in from a leadership background, so you actually have to push employees to participate. I
Yeah.
remember when we started RPL, that's Resurgent Premier League, almost 3 years back. Now we do it every year. But the first time we started it, people refused to join in. They were like,
Hmm.
Saturday, second half, generally we have our
Yeah.
own time. So we generally preferred spending time with friends or with family. But slowly, when we started making it mandatory, and this has to follow from the HODs. So
Hmm.
the one thing we have realized is any new initiative that you want to plan, even for the employees, has to start from the top.
Yes.
अगर आप उसको ऊपर सिंक करा देते हो तो then the HODs can manage how to sell it to the team internally. Initially, it's a push, but once these guys get used to it, so then they start having fun. For example, RPL हो गया or even gym memberships हो गए. When we started it, and we were only having 5, 6 people who were interested. At the
Hmm.
end of 2 months, we had to stop, that we had a limit of 60 people and we're overboarded right now. So we will probably enroll again at that point of time.
Right.
Similarly, we have other initiatives also that we work on, like Fun Fridays, where we generally, take up half an hour on Fridays, encourage people to do public speaking. That's a
Hmm.
whole agenda. So if I had to go and tell them, कि चलो आके बोलो, nobody would come up. So what we
Right.
thought about, we said, okay, let's do a jam session. Okay,
Nice.
we will play on chits. Okay, probably, okay, it's more of passing the ball kind of a thing. And whoever gets the ball has to pick up a chit and come and speak. So initial hiccups were there, but
Sure.
slowly, people have got used to it. Now they wait for the Fun Friday sessions. So all
Nice.
these are some fun initiatives which we have taken up with these employees to improve their bonding and give them a little break from work that we talk about there. And
Yeah.
then we also have regular picnics which we plan once in a quarter kind of a thing, which is
Hmm.
important. And it is not only with the employees, even the HODs when we talk about. So we generally plan a quarterly meet within the HODs where we don't do it within the office. We generally travel outside office to spend some time introducing, meeting each other, discussing about each other departments, what are the challenges, wherever each other can contribute to understand each other better personally, professionally. So I think all these exercises have really helped team bonding between the organization.
What
And
has been,
lastly, yeah,
sorry, please go ahead.
and
Lastly.
lastly, coming on certain very sensitive initiatives which we have taken up. One is POSH. So
Hmm.
it's like, when I joined Resurgent, it's going to be 10 years tomorrow now. So when I joined Resurgent, there were hardly any women, hardly, matlab, 4 or 5 of us who were there.
Mm.
But today, when we talk about, at least 25% of our workforce is women. So,
Nice.
when we have set up POSH as a committee that we have,
Mm.
where,
Mm.
my girls are very sure and very comfortable that if there is any issue, even
Mm.
if the most smallest of issue, they know
Mm.
they can reach out to us. So that committee has been set up. We do regular POSH trainings. Every quarter, we do a
Mm.
POSH training where, we sensitize these girls to what is normal and what is not normal. So sometimes, when they are sitting in a group or they go out in a group and there is something which they're not comfortable with, they don't come
Mm.
back and
Mm.
speak about it in general. For two reasons, they feel, okay, probably this is normal. Two,
Mm.
if that's a manager whom they're
Mm.
reporting, so then they come back and think, okay, what if, this gets escalated and my job is at stake. So we
Mm.
generally sensitize them well, okay, what is normal, what is not normal, and if you face any of these situations, the way you have to root out.
Mm.
And Resurgent has been in existence from last 20 years. I'm super proud to say we have an open door policy here. So, for
Mm.
example, if you have an issue with your immediate boss and you don't want
Mm.
to discuss anything there, you can go to the HR. We give you all the liberty to go to the HR. It is not
Mm.
necessary you have to go through your immediate manager. Even if you think HR is not the right person, you can come back to me or you can go back to the CEO directly. We are open to hear and take an unbiased call on these basis. So these are some of the initiatives which we define are a part of our culture, which we are super proud of.
That's fantastic. Tell me, what are some of the trends that you're watching in terms of what are some of the requests that employees have that organizations do not yet have policies for?
So, one, it's like, I really don't know how to probably find a solution also to that part of it. Because, there are, as times have changed. So, it's like, when I'm talking about when I started my career. So, touchwood, even today, I am super proud to say that I could get back to work because I had a support system at home. My in-laws were there and they had taken care of the kids very, very well. I'm really
Mm.
happy and proud about that. Otherwise, I'm a very, very finicky as a person. I could have never left a child at a crèche or a daycare kind of a thing. I don't say it's right or wrong, but I looking at me, I'm a very psyched person. I can never leave my children at a daycare or a crèche. I could walk out of the house because I knew there is a proper support system at home. I've taken
Mm.
a break for almost 1 year in both the cases. I have two of them. So even when my first child was born, I had taken a break for 1 year, settled him down, and once I was comfortable, I moved out that time. Same as with my daughter, when she was born, I had taken a break for 1 year. No regrets. That was, probably one of the most wonderful times that I have spent with the kids. And then I
Mm.
walked out where I thought, the kids were comfortable at home. Today, today when you talk about, I think, the creche as an option is very important, which we should provide to our employees. But
Mhm.
how many organizations can afford it is a bigger question mark. There
Yeah.
are large organizations, there are large corporates who can actually afford it. And I think if you can, you should definitely do it because, it gives a lot of comfort to your employees, be gender specific, be it a male or be a female, that, if you can give that care responsibility or a creche where he can go meet the child in between in the breaks, take care of the child, or, probably sensitize the child about being available there. So that is something which you should definitely take care about. But like I said, I'm not sure how many organizations can actually afford that part of it because it calls for a lot of infrastructure costs as well.
Yeah.
So Second is totally important, but there is no solution to it right now, is for the elder care. Children, you can take them to a daycare, or even if you have a creche or a daycare, you can take them there, take care of them there. But when it comes to elder care, you have to depend. If you're a working couple and you have elders at home, you have to depend on a nurse to take care of them. And probably cameras around need to be monitored to see if things are in control, because after a certain age it is very, very important that the elders need to be taken care the same way that they had taken care, that you take care of your kids. Because sometimes we take it for granted कि बड़े लोगों को इतनी जरूरत नहीं होती है, but after a certain age they require more care to be taken care. So, I am not very sure how to sensitize this topic, but there are a lot of elder homes which are coming up with. So it's like, me and my husband are very clear about that. Once we reach a certain age, we would prefer, probably going to a luxury elder home. There are a lot of good options which have come up. Max guys have got some, and Ashiana guys have got some, where you have the community of the elder people who interact, who mingle. There are very good medical facilities which are being provided to them. Everything is taken care about. How I wish, we can have such elder care homes which could be available within the societies also,
Hmm.
which is very minimum right now. So it's like, there are two, three developers who've been coming across with these brainstorming initiatives. But I think, it is a very crucial thing if we can have these kind of initiatives within the society or within our environment also, where instead of a crèche, we have crèches very commonly found in many societies, IPSAs and these of the world are very common in many of the societies कि ठीक है अगर आप बच्चों को स्कूल नहीं भी ले ऑफिस नहीं भी लेके जा सकते हो. So there are societies where they have daycares. We should have elder cares also, where
Hmm.
these parents can be taken care in case of emergency.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think, developers need to work on that when they're designing homes. So they need to think about elder cares also, which can be there, probably a doctor on duty, which can be available, or, any medical care, emergency care, which can be available, should be a part of the basics which need to be covered. I think if that's taken care, so a lot of things can get sorted out.
Hmm. That sounds good. Sonal, what I would like for you to help us understand. So, if the demographics of the talent and the needs of the talent that we hire in an organization are changing over time, how, in your experience, have you seen the impact of employees who are caregivers impacting work, their performance, and even the company's performance in the long run?
So, like I said, Bhavna, I think that 9 to 5 times have gone.
Yeah.
So, you as an organization need to give employees flexibility to take care of things at home. And, unless you give them that kind, the policies, the guidelines, the companies, the framework has to be designed that way, because, we are sitting in generation today where, if you don't want to give that opportunity to your employees where they can work at their own comfort and still deliver, there are 10 other companies who are ready to do it. And like I said, this will not be a loss to an employee. This will be a loss to the organization. Because if you are so stubborn about it, no, we need to work from office. You need to follow a 9 to 5 kind of a schedule. We cannot give leaves as such. So what will happen is that, one, the employee, if he is not able to come to office, he'll take a leave. उसके पास तो कोई ऑप्शन है नहीं ना. If he's in a situation where it is a
Yeah.
medical emergency, if he is not well, if the kid is not well, if the parents are not well, and for everybody the family is the most priority, then irrespective of the gender, he has to stay back at home and take care of the family.
That's right.
So if you don't give an option to him to work from home and take care of targets, which he has committed he can take care of, one,
Mm.
you're losing an employee. Two,
Mm.
you are losing a productive hours.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
think, it has to come from the management point of view. This cannot be pushed through HR. This cannot be pushed through HR. It has to come from the top that, if the management is not ready to give flexibility to their employee to work from any place but deliver. So today, when you're hiring, so it's like, I think more than talking about working hours, you should talk about targets to them. Okay,
Mm.
this is the target that we are expecting out of you. It's up to you. How do you want to deliver it? In case you need support, you come back to us.
Yeah.
So this way, what happens is that even if the employee is working from home, and if he needs some support, so at least, he can come back and say that I need some support here, and the team is ready to support. There could be certain data, there could be certain things where, probably if an employee requires some support working from home, the team is ready to support there. So that policy, that flexibility has to come in right from the top to support employees to work and deliver. Ultimately, it's the target which counts, and if the other person is confident and ready to deliver in situations, so I think coming to office is not required.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sonal, you have great strength in one, being analytical, and two, being able to look at the financials of an organization and make probably a compelling case to a CEO. Now, I have very often heard that, all these initiatives, which are employee welfare, or let's do something to make sure women are there in the workforce, are all nice, wishy-washy, nice to do things. Where's the money? Like, show me the benefit for the business. Now, if you were to make a compelling business case to a proprietor or a CEO and say, here are some of the things that you need to do, and this is the business benefit you're going to get, how would you make such a case?
So it's like, when you're talking from the client side, you mean when we go for a client meeting?
Any organization, right? We are talking to your organization CEO, business head. You could be talking to a client. You could be talking to, let's say, a smaller organization that cannot afford having a creche or an elder care facility, or providing too much flexibility, or having
Mhm.
too many employees who will take maternity leave. So, organizations might want to say, listen, this is too much of an expense. I don't think this is good for me. How can HR managers or people like me make a compelling case to such senior leaders?
Okay, so I totally understand, coming up with an elderly care or a creche is generally a little cost impactful decision. But in case you can afford it as an organization, I think, that is the very good retention policy which you can have for your employees, because, if you are able to give them that flexibility to, or, give them that comfort that if you are at work, your parents or your kids can be taken care in these support systems. So I think, you're giving the best. You can definitely retain the best of that talent there. So that is something, which should be done in case you can afford it. And if you think, that the management thinks that it's too much to ask for, obviously, I certainly agree that, there is a budget which every organization has, and if these facilities don't fall into the budget, work from home is always an option. So
Yeah,
that does not cost you anything. And, try implementing that as a policy. And trust me, if you are able to give that comfort to your employees, you will be able to get a lot of loyal employees whom you can retain. So that
that's a
develops
good
a lot
point.
of work from home does not cost you any infrastructure cost. And I don't say, okay, you need to give work from home for anything. But if you think, that the situation is genuine, the employee is a dedicated employee, and he can manage stuff working from home. As a manager, you are smart enough to take that call. Yeah. अगर आपको लगता है, कि probably every second day he comes with some excuse, obviously you have to sit back with that employee and make him understand that boss, it cannot be a normal situation. We don't have work from home as a policy. It's only in the case of emergencies that we talk about. But if you think, that it's a genuine case, that, probably the person cannot come to office, but still the work has to be managed and he's capable enough for managing at home. So as we'll give that option, yeah. Trust
That
me,
is
it's
true.
like, I have retained couple of good girls in my team by giving them work from home option.
Yeah.
So obviously, these girls were, she was after her maternity, she was not able to join back. The company policy was 3 months of a maternity leave that we can talk about. But she said, she's not in a position to join back till good 6 months. 3 months she worked from home. She was
Yeah.
working more of an analytics kind of a profile where, she had to work on numbers, she has to work on cash flows and stuff, which she
Mhm.
can obviously manage from home. There
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not no requirement of her physically sitting in office or working on those bases. She could have as well managed it. We gave her an option where she was one of our oldest employees. Matlab, Resurgent started 19 years back, so she was probably the third or the fourth employee we had at that point of time. So we gave her that benefit, and that we have that loyalty that she knows that organization will stand by her or probably be with her. Similarly, I had another girl in research where I don't need a research person to be sitting in office. If she has a medical emergency, her parents were not well, so we gave her an option. She was working from her hometown, so we gave her
Yeah.
an option that she came back to me saying she wants to quit. I said, why does she want to quit? She says, my parents need me around. There's a medical emergency in the family. My parents need me around. So I said, can you work from home? So she said, Ki, I can try. So I gave her a target. I said, this is what is expected out of you. If you think you can manage from home, you try for 15 days. And she was very comfortable doing it. And after 2 months, she joined back office. So the way it helped me as an organization is it helped me retain two very loyal employees who were brought back into the system. Because if I would have let them go कि ठीक है जी हमारे यहाँ तो work from home की policy नहीं है. You take a break, do whatever you want to. And there, probably I would have lost two good employees. Same thing happened with me. So it's like, that's a very, very sad discussion we had at that point of time. So I was working with, before Resurgent, I was working with one organization. I would not like to name it also right now, where, I was there with them for good 6 years. After my first one was born. So after 6 years, after working with them for 6 years, so I went back to them that there is a medical that I have, and probably I may not be able to work for good 7 8 months. So they said our maternity leave is only 3 months. So I said I'm okay to work for unpaid next 3 months. They said no, we can't extend that. I said then I can't continue on that basis. So I had to leave the organization there. After that, they followed up a couple of times saying, would you be interested in joining back? I said, when the culture is such that, you're not able to support your employees when they need the most, what is the point working on them?
That's right. That's
So
right.
it has to mutually be beneficial for both the employee and the organization. So I did not go back even after spending 6 months. We had very good bonding with the between me and the management at that point of time. But I could understand, this the culture was such that probably it was not a very employee centric organization. So I would not be comfortable going back to them.
That's right. So, I would like for you to take, probably this question, which is to kind of trigger some thought process for the future. Let's say we were to make a case to industry bodies and government and imagine a world in, let's say, 10 years and say the workplace is a very gender caregiver friendly workplace where you have a variety of things that enable all kinds of people to contribute to the workplace. What are some of the things you imagine such workplaces to have? Let's
Okay.
say you were
Uh,
to, like, just fantasize.
okay. So let's break it into two parts here. So one, when we're talking about gender. So
Mm.
I don't know if you've heard about glass ceilings. So
Mhm.
probably, I personally feel that glass ceilings still exist, whatever we're talking about diversity, whatever we're talking about women empowerment, but glass ceilings still exist at the top. So it's like, if you are at a mid-management position and you want to go into a leadership role, you as a woman have to put an extra effort to reach that level. But trust me, that is something which I generally talk to all my women colleagues that, if you are capable enough, you have all the potential to break that glass ceiling. There is nobody in the universe which can stop you from breaking that glass ceiling or reaching that level. So I think, when we're talking about diversity in future, we need to have strong women who can stand up for themselves and, probably, stand for themselves or go to the management, discuss about their growth plans. Today, women don't go. So it's like, when you compare women, so generally, they are a little reluctant going back to the HR or the management to discuss on their growth plans. They generally are a little skeptical about, कि ठीक है, जो भी होगा देख लेंगे. But why? If you think you have the potential or you have the capability of reaching to the top, so generally women don't do that. So I think we need to have more stronger women who can go speak about their career growth, speak to the management about what their expectations are, because unless and until you go and speak, things will not. So, you cannot be working on an automated thing. कि ठीक है जी मैं तो काम कर रही हूँ. One day these guys will probably realize and take a call. It doesn't work that way. Most of the time you have to, probably blow your own trumpet or go and discuss about it yourself. And the women have
Yeah,
to take this call themselves to go and do that.
yeah,
Second, coming down the caregiving
yeah,
options that we're talking about, I think the future organizations have to prepare for best caregiving options that we talk about today, because if you cannot take care of the responsibilities which the employees are leaving at home, so you will not be able to retain employees much. So today, when you're talking about, I think, creche is a very, very important facility. It is a bare minimum which you should give it to your employees that we can talk about. I think the organization or the infrastructure has to be built up that way that at least you're able to give that creche as an option to the employees where they can leave their kids. And secondly, elderly homes, like I said, is very critical. I don't know how organizations can support that, but I think that's a bare minimum which you should provide to the employees where they can, probably in case of emergencies, they can get their parents and the parents can be taken care, be it a small nursery or a doctors can be available for the parents to take care about, or a support system can be provided to the parents at home, even if they're at work. So all these kind of policies can be taken care. And yes, medical benefits is what we need to work on. It's like, you give medical benefits to the employees, but giving it for the parents is equally important because, if your employees are having parents who are senior citizens, so more than them, they will require it for for their parents. So I think including that as a policy of the medical benefits which you give it to their employees. So I think it's very critical that the parent care is taken care so that, in case of emergency, they don't have to think about the cost factor. They can go to any big hospital where they think, that the treatments can be taken care. So that is something which definitely needs to be taken care. So I think these are a couple of things which can define a future fit organization. One is stronger women to take care of their own careers, and they don't have to depend on any male employee to, promote them or push them. They are strong enough to take care of their own self. And two, coming back on the caregiving opportunities where we talk about a creche, a medical support system for parents, even if you're not able to provide them within the infrastructure, at least, a medical support system at home if it can be provided, and medical policies if can be designed in such a way that, parents are included in that. So I think that is some strong support which you can give to retain employees. I'm very clear about that. It is not the employee's requirement, it is your requirement to retain a good employee.
Well,
If the
thank you.
employee
Thank
is
you
good,
for
he will
that.
get multiple opportunities.
That is so true. That is so true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This year, International Women's Day had a theme of accelerating action. And to just give you the context, we started Future Fit Corporates as an initiative last year on Women's Day because we wanted to take the conversation beyond just the day and the month and say, listen, this is an everyday thing. And caregiving is not just restricted to women. And if we restrict it by gender, then women are not able to demonstrate their talent, pursue their dreams, and realize their ambition. So it is really important for us to take the tokenism away and integrate it into our everyday lives at workplaces and at home. So, International Women's Day 2025 is about accelerating action so that men and women can have equal opportunity. So, I'm going to ask you some kind of rapid fire questions and see what your response is.
Okay.
What does accelerate action mean to you?
That would basically mean it's like, where we are trying to implement things. So
Right.
it's like where we don't have only strategies. So basically,
Yes.
implementing those strategies is also very important. So basically, it's more of accelerating the implementation of strategies.
Understood. And what bold opportunity would you say yes to this year?
Okay, so primarily, taking up a director or a CEO positions because I obviously know it calls for a lot of challenges as a role, and I had probably taken a foot back a couple of years back because of kids at home, because of other responsibilities at home. But I think now things are a little sorted on, so I think breaking the glass ceiling that I'm talking about and taking up leadership positions is what I'm talking about.
More power to you. And a call to action. Share share your pledge for ongoing action. What would do you pledge to do in terms of ongoing action to help accelerate action?
I think going fearless,
Hmm.
so that's the most important thing to do because, irrespective of the gender, most of us basically don't want to take certain decisions or take certain actions because we fear the outcome. So, I think, breaking barriers and going fearless is what is important right now.
Well said, well said. You spoke a little bit about what advice would you give women to speak up at work. My experience is women still learn how to speak up at work, but they don't know how to speak up at home. So,
Hmm.
what advice would you have for women to speak up at home?
The same approach. So it's like,
Okay.
you are an independent individual and you have your own identity. If you are not able to put across your thoughts well, so that's a challenge. So
Yes.
that way, you have to speak your mind,
Yes.
irrespective of whatever the other person is thinking about. You have to speak your mind. So generally, most of the women, either at workplace or at home, generally restrict our thoughts just with the thought, what will the other person think about? Log kya kahen? So
Yeah.
that's a general, hitch that most of us have.
Yeah.
So my thought here will be, if you don't speak about it, people will anyway talk about. So people are there to talk about. उनको कुछ तो सोचना है, कुछ तो बोलना है. So as well, speak your mind, speak your thoughts, share your opinions. Because
Yes.
unless and until you speak about it, the other person don't know what are you thinking about.
True
And
that.
as a woman, it is very important for you to speak your point because you are setting an example for your kids, be it your
That's right.
son or be it your daughter. You are setting an example for your kids. So if you don't speak about it, they will get the same impression that probably this is how a woman is supposed to be. And
Yeah.
it is your moral responsibility to bring up the next generation the right way, that instead of giving impression to them that the women are supposed to be probably settled, or probably generally taking a back step. You have to make sure that you are giving an example to your daughter that if you have a issue, speak about it, and speak about it today rather than carrying it for 10 days and then making one big out of it, or giving a example to your daughter that tomorrow if you have a daughter or your wife, she has the equal right to speak about things or give her opinion or thoughts, that and if anything matters. And why about only speaking about? Why not about dividing work? Today, if I don't have help at home, if I have to do the work for some reason, I make sure that I involve the kids along. That
Yeah.
the work is divided between both the kids, so that they understand that it is not only a woman's responsibility. If you are a part of the family, the work has to be divided.
Well said.
So
What, in your
it's
opinion, is the biggest challenge both men and women face when we are caregivers?
So, balancing work life is more important. So, sometimes, you are so stuck at work, but you are not able to spend that time at home. So, balancing between your work and life is very, very critical today, which both men and women have to manage because both are important. But obviously, family comes first, but there are certain situations where, you need to be available at work because of certain emergencies and stuff. So basically, that is where we talk about that balancing work and life
Yes.
is the need of the hour. And it's
Yeah.
just planning which is required. Trust me, after COVID, everybody has realized it's only a planning which is required. Everything can be managed now.
For sure. For sure. I have to thank you for the energy and the enthusiasm that you have put in this conversation and brought your ideas and experience. I'm sure this will be insightful for many of our people. And is there anything that you would like to say as a closing remark?
So, my favorite tagline for anybody, probably when I'm speaking to my team or any woman colleague is a very famous song from FIFA. It's a tagline for FIFA. Look who we are. We are the dreamers. We make it happen, for we believe in it. Thank
Oh,
you so
wow.
much. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love that absolutely. And thank you for sharing that. It just kind of triggers such a beautiful
Absolutely, because you need
imagination
to
for the
trust
future.
yourself. If you want people to trust you need to trust yourself.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time and ideas, Sonal. I really look forward to your support. Do look out for the Future Fit Corporates dossier for last season and help us shape the new conversations. If there are people that you would
Absolutely.
like to recommend who can be a part of these conversations, do tell them. And thank you very much. Really
Thank you so
appreciate
much, Bhavna. It was lovely interacting with you. And you are absolutely doing a wonderful job because it's very important to sensitize this issue within the working employees, how to be a good caregiver when you're talking about maintaining work-life balance, managing work, managing home. It's very, very important that you are a good caregiver as well. So it's a very sensitive topic, and I would love to probably be a part of it anywhere where I can contribute better. Thank you
Would
so
love
much.
that.
Thank you for your time.
Would
Yeah,
love that. Thank you so much. Have a
sure.
very good
Thank you.
evening. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Take care.
Bye. Start.
No, no, no.
Okay, so this is after the interview. How are you feeling now?
Absolutely. I really loved it. It's like, more of a impromptu discussions.
Yeah,
But it's like, more of two professionals discussing about things rather
yeah,
than, probably a normal Zoom call
yeah,
where we're talking about sectors, we're talking about
yeah.
numbers. So I really had a very good time and
I'm
a
glad.
lovely interaction with you,
I'm
and
glad.
would love to be a part of many such discussions in future.
That's fantastic. Tell me something about your organization, Sonal. Thank you for watching this episode of Future Fit Corporates. If today's conversation resonated with you, don't let it end here. Join the Future Fit Corporates Club or the FFC Club. Explore our full dossier and discover powerful blogs from our past speakers. Let's move beyond inclusion as a buzzword. Let's make diverse experiences, especially experiences of caring for others, caregiving, a leadership strength. Together, we can truly build not just a caring world, but future fit workplaces. Until next time, take care and let's keep the conversation on.